The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, November 27, reveal that Jack Abbott will have a big surprise in store for his family as they prepare to celebrate Thanksgiving. When Diane Jenkins Abbott appears in the living room, Ashley Abbott will immediately question her presence and offer to throw her out. Tracy Abbott and Alan Laurent will also be rather confused about why Diane's there. Jack will have to explain that he's still madly in love with Diane and that all the recent hostility was a ruse. Diane will help Jack explain that they were just deceiving Victor Newman and working to get Kyle Abbott out of his clutches. While Tracy, Ashley, and Alan wrap their heads around that revelation, Victor will gather with many of his loved ones at the Newman Ranch. Claire Newman will be in attendance, so Victor will take this opportunity to deliver a warning about Kyle. Although Victor will try to set off some alarm bells about Kyle and the heartbreak that could be brewing for Claire, she may ignore her grandpa's opinion in the end. Claire is all about making decisions for herself these days, so she may continue down her current romantic path, at least for now. Cole Howard, Victoria Newman, Nick Newman, Adam Newman, Chelsea Lawson, and Connor Newman will also show up for the Newman Thanksgiving celebration. Adam will enjoy having some family time with Connor and Chelsea, so this could mark a turning point when it comes to his romantic relationship with Chelsea too. Chelsea and Adam will definitely have some moments where it seems like they're reconnecting. Next on Wednesday's I&R episode, Nate Hastings will invite Amy Lewis to stay with him for Thanksgiving, so she'll seek updates on whether he's made a final decision about locating his half-brother Damien. When Audra Charles arrives, she may continue to show signs of wariness regarding Amy and her motives. Audra always has her guard up, so she's been hesitant to trust Amy and her wild story. However, Amy's claims about her illness and her son seem legit, so Nate may be willing to take the leap and help find Damien. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Nate's half-brother will bring a whole lot of drama to Genoa City down the road, so we'll bring you more predictions on all the chaotic news ahead. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. Sharon's plea for forgiveness. Sharon Newman paced nervously outside the makeshift holding cell where Phyllis Summers had been confined. The news of Phyllis waking up had spread quickly, igniting a mix of hope and fear among those who knew their tumultuous history. Sharon knew she had to act swiftly. As the heavy metal door swung open, Sharon rushed inside, her eyes brimming with tears. Phyllis looked up, her expression a mix of exhaustion and determination. "Phyllis, I'm so sorry," Sharon cried, her voice cracking. "I was wrong. Please forgive me. I'll go back to jail. I deserve to pay for what I did." Phyllis remained silent for a moment, studying Sharon's tear-streaked face. The room was thick with tension, the air heavy with unspoken truths. Sharon's genuine remorse was palpable, but Phyllis had learned to distrust easily. Just as Sharon began to recount her remorse, Phyllis interrupted her. "Sharon, listen to me. This isn't over." Sharon froze, confusion mingling with hope. "What do you mean?" Phyllis took a deep breath, her eyes steely. "What you think is a plea for forgiveness is actually a trap. Someone set you up, just like they set me up. We need to work together to uncover the truth." Sharon staggered back, realization dawning on her. A trap? But why? Who would want to frame us both? Phyllis stepped closer, her resolve hardening. Because Heather's death isn't just an accident. It's part of a larger scheme, and we're the only ones who can piece it together. Unraveling the mystery of Heather's death. Heather Adams' sudden and mysterious death had left Genoa City reeling. Despite numerous investigations, no one could pinpoint the exact circumstances surrounding her demise. Everyone wanted answers, but only a few possessed the tenacity and intelligence to seek them out. Phyllis and Sharon, now reluctantly allied, delved deeper into the enigma. Their investigation led them to uncover hidden alliances, secret meetings, and a web of deceit that spanned the city's most powerful figures. Each clue they uncovered only seemed to lead to more questions, painting a picture of a conspiracy far more complex than they had imagined. As they pieced together the fragments of Heather's life and the events leading up to her death, it became clear that someone wanted her silenced. But who had the motive and the means to orchestrate such a plot? The answers lay hidden in the shadows of Genoa City, waiting to be brought to light. Kyle and Summer's risky romance. Meanwhile, across town, Kyle Abbott and Summer Newman were pushing the boundaries of their relationship. Their bond had always been strong, but recently, their closeness had become a topic of concern among their peers. Kyle's playful nature and Summer's passionate demeanor made them a captivating pair, but their relationship was teetering on the edge of exposure. Kyle loved the thrill, often taking risks that Summer found increasingly troubling. Their secret meetings, late-night rendezvous, and the constant threat of being discovered were straining their connection. Summer, torn between her love for Kyle and her fear of the repercussions, struggled to keep their relationship hidden. Claire Newman, Summer's younger sister, was particularly unsettled by their actions. She admired Kyle and looked up to Summer, but witnessing their behavior made her anxious. "Kyle, you need to slow down," Claire urged one evening as they sat in the family garden. "This isn't healthy for any of us." Kyle chuckled, trying to brush off her concerns. "Come on, Claire, we're just having fun. Nothing bad is going to happen." But Claire wasn't convinced. She could sense the tension building and worried that Kyle's antics would only lead to heartbreak and chaos. Victoria's disapproval and hidden agendas. Victoria Newman, Summer's mother and one of Genoa City's most formidable women, had never been fond of Kyle. His carefree attitude and tendency to disregard rules clashed with Victoria's meticulous nature and desire for control. "He's not like that," Summer protested one afternoon as they sat in Victoria's office. "Kyle cares about me." Victoria's eyes hardened. "Care? Or is he simply playing with your emotions? I've seen how he treats those he cares about. He's using you, Summer. When he gets what he wants, he'll leave you without a second thought." Summer sighed, torn between her mother's warnings and her own feelings. "I don't think that's true, Mom. Kyle is different." Victoria shook her head, her frustration evident. "You're too young to see the bigger picture. Just leave this relationship before it destroys you." But Summer remained steadfast, her love for Kyle giving her the strength to stand her ground. "I can handle it, Victoria. Please, just trust me." Victoria's disapproval was a constant source of tension, fueling the conflict between mother and daughter. As Kyle and Summer navigated their risky romance, Victoria's shadow loomed large, threatening to unravel everything they had built together. Phyllis and Sharon's alliance. Phyllis and Sharon's newfound alliance was fraught with tension and uncertainty. Their shared desire for redemption and justice bound them together, but their past betrayals lingered like ghosts between them. "We need to trust each other if we're going to succeed," Phyllis insisted during one of their late-night meetings. "We can't afford to let our history get in the way." Sharon nodded, wiping away her tears. "You're right. I want to make things right, not just for me, but for everyone Heather touched." Together, they mapped out their strategy, targeting the key players involved in the conspiracy behind Heather's death. Their investigation led them to unexpected places, uncovering alliances they hadn't anticipated and revealing the depth of Victor Newman's influence. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Shock Wednesday full episodes update, November 27, 2024. The tensions of Genoa City, power struggles, and hidden agendas. Genoa City was no stranger to drama, but recent events had set the stage for a series of confrontations that threatened to upend the delicate balance of power. At the heart of it all was Victor Newman, a man whose influence spanned Chancellor, Abbott, Gade, and Newman Enterprises. With these powerful enterprises under his control, Victor wielded the kind of power that could topple anyone who stood in his way. Yet, despite his formidable presence, Victor found himself fixated on one remaining obstacle: Jack Abbott. Victor Newman, the master strategist. Victor Newman sat in his expansive office overlooking the bustling city below. His empire was vast, and his strategic mind had kept him at the pinnacle of Genoa City's business world for decades. However, his rivalry with Jack Abbott was as old as their companies. Jack, with his own legacy and determination, had always been a thorn in Victor's side. Victor knew that to secure his dominance, he needed to eliminate Jack once and for all. But Jack was no ordinary adversary. He was cunning, resourceful, and deeply connected. Direct confrontation would be risky, so Victor devised a plan to dismantle Jack's operations from within. To do this, he needed a trusted ally, someone with personal reasons to bring down Jack. Billy Abbott, a man torn between loyalty and ambition. Billy Abbott had always been the black sheep of the Abbott family. His relationship with his mother, Jill Abbott, had deteriorated over the years. Jill's ruthless decision to fire him, sell off parts of Chancellor Abbott, and sever ties without a word had left Billy embittered and seeking redemption. Despite losing trust in Jill, Billy found himself intrigued by Victor's offer. Sally Spectra, ever the opportunist, saw potential in aligning with Victor and continuously encouraged Billy to consider the partnership. "This is your chance to rise above," Sally would say, her eyes gleaming with ambition. "With Victor's backing, you can finally prove your worth." Billy, though tempted, grappled with the idea of betraying his family and sacrificing his integrity. The prospect of reclaiming his position as CEO of Chancellor Abbott was alluring, but at what cost? Jack and Jill, fractured bonds and mutual struggles. Jack Abbott sensed the growing tension between Billy and Jill. Both were facing their own battles, Jack with maintaining his company's dominance and Jill with managing her strained relationships. They shared a common predicament. Their children and close associates no longer trusted them. Kyle and Billy, both strong-willed and expressive, were emblematic of the younger generation's assertiveness. However, their fiery personalities often led to clashes rather than constructive dialogue, and they lacked the experience needed to navigate the complex web of Genoa City's power dynamics. Phyllis Summers, a relentless quest for justice. Meanwhile, Phyllis Summers was on a relentless quest to expose the criminal elements lurking in the shadows. Her dedication had landed her in the hospital, where she was slowly recovering from injuries sustained during her investigations. Despite her desire to resume her work, Phyllis knew she needed to regain her strength before diving back into the fray. Her determination to uncover the truth was unwavering, but she had learned that patience and strategic thinking were key to her success. Victor's manipulative playbook. Victor's machinations were in full swing. Recognizing Billy's vulnerability and ambition, he extended an olive branch that promised power and prestige. "Together, we can reshape Genoa City," Victor declared during one of their clandestine meetings. "You have the potential, Billy. With my resources, we can ensure that Jack Abbott is no longer a threat." Billy, torn between his desire for success and his loyalty to his family, found Victor's proposition difficult to resist. The promise of becoming CEO again was enticing, but he couldn't shake the feeling that aligning with Victor might mean losing a part of himself. The brewing storm, Jack's realization. Jack Abbott, ever vigilant, noticed the increasing strain between Billy and Jill. He understood that if left unchecked, their discord could spiral out of control, threatening the stability of the Abbott legacy. During a heated family meeting, Jack addressed the growing tensions. "We need to find common ground," he urged, his voice firm yet conciliatory. "If we continue down this path, we'll only tear ourselves apart." However, Jack's efforts to mediate were met with resistance. Both Billy and Jill were entrenched in their grievances, finding it hard to see past their hurt and anger. Their inability to trust each other had created a chasm that seemed impossible to bridge. Kyle and Claire, love on the edge. Amidst the chaos, Kyle Abbott and Claire Simpson found themselves at a pivotal moment in their relationship. Their bond was strong, built on mutual respect and affection, but external pressures threatened to pull them apart. Victor, ever perceptive, sensed the potential fallout and decided to act. Viewing Kyle's playful and sometimes irresponsible nature as a liability, Victor issued a stern warning. "Kyle, if you continue down this path of recklessness, Claire will bear the consequences," he threatened. Victor's ultimatum. As tensions escalated, Victor reached out to Billy with an ultimatum. Join him fully or risk losing everything. "You're either with me or against me, Billy," Victor stated coldly. "There's no middle ground. Think carefully about what you stand to lose." Feeling the pressure, Billy realized Victor's offer was not just a business proposition, but a test of his loyalty and ambition. The allure of power and the chance to redefine his role within Chancellor Abbott tugged at him, but the cost weighed heavily on his conscience. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, November 27, reveal that Jack Abbott will have a big surprise in store for his family as they prepare to celebrate Thanksgiving. When Diane Jenkins Abbott appears in the living room, Ashley Abbott will immediately question her presence and offer to throw her out. Tracy Abbott and Alan Laurent will also be rather confused about why Diane's there. Jack will have to explain that he's still madly in love with Diane and that all the recent hostility was a ruse. Diane will help Jack explain that they were just deceiving Victor Newman and working to get Kyle Abbott out of his clutches. While Tracy, Ashley, and Alan wrap their heads around that revelation, Victor will gather with many of his loved ones at the Newman Ranch. Claire Newman will be in attendance, so Victor will take this opportunity to deliver a warning about Kyle. Although Victor will try to set off some alarm bells about Kyle and the heartbreak that could be brewing for Claire, she may ignore her grandpa's opinion in the end. Claire is all about making decisions for herself these days, so she may continue down her current romantic path, at least for now. Cole Howard, Victoria Newman, Nick Newman, Adam Newman, Chelsea Lawson, and Connor Newman will also show up for the Newman Thanksgiving celebration. Adam will enjoy having some family time with Connor and Chelsea, so this could mark a turning point when it comes to his romantic relationship with Chelsea too. Chelsea and Adam will definitely have some moments where it seems like they're reconnecting. Next on Wednesday's I&R episode, Nate Hastings will invite Amy Lewis to stay with him for Thanksgiving, so she'll seek updates on whether he's made a final decision about locating his half-brother Damien. When Audra Charles arrives, she may continue to show signs of wariness regarding Amy and her motives. Audra always has her guard up, so she's been hesitant to trust Amy and her wild story. However, Amy's claims about her illness and her son seem legit, so Nate may be willing to take the leap and help find Damien. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Nate's half-brother will bring a whole lot of drama to Genoa City down the road, so we'll bring you more predictions on all the chaotic news ahead. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Phyllis Summers is determined to see Sharon Newman to pay for Heather Stevens' death and for running her off the road. Everyone thought Phyllis made this whole thing up, but now they know differently. Will Phyllis expose the truth? Daniel Romalotti and Summer Newman questioned their mom. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest that Daniel Romalotti and Summer Newman were beginning to believe their mother. Everyone thought Phyllis originally made this story up. No one believed Sharon could have done anything like this. Sharon was not a violent person. Phyllis reminded everyone that Sharon almost killed her once. Phyllis also knew that Sharon hates her son Daniel because of what happened with Cassie Newman years ago. If Daniel hadn't gotten drunk, Cassie wouldn't have had to try to drive him home that night and wrecked. Daniel could not do anything to stop her from driving him. Y&R spoilers. Sharon Newman finally came forward. After Phyllis was run off the road, Sharon finally called Nick Newman and confessed everything that she believes happened that night. Sharon has no idea that a lot more happened while she was blacked out than she could ever imagine. Sharon has no idea that she is being framed. Fans know that Ian Ward and Jordan Howard are the ones behind what is going on with Sharon. Someone has messed with Sharon's medication for some time as well as framing her. Cameron Kirsten is still in her head, tells her what to do and where to show up at. The Young and the Restless spoilers. How could Phyllis Summers solve this? Phyllis and Sharon have been enemies for years. However, Sharon isn't going to lie if figures out that someone else was involved. Sharon may have seen Jordan, and that may come into her mind later. Will Sharon remember seeing Jordan driving the car that ran her off the road? Will Sharon be the one to figure this whole mess out? Sharon and Phyllis could actually bond after all these years if Phyllis exposes the truth. Could these two finally find something in common and get over this grudge that has been between them for years? Will Phyllis play a big part in taking Ian and Jordan down now that the truth is about to come out and Ian and Jordan cover be blown? The Young and the Restless spoilers recap for Tuesday, November 26, reveals that Jill Abbott will keep pestering Billy Abbott with phone calls and texts until he finally calls her back via video chat. Billy will show Jill that he's cleaning out his office and once again rant about her decision to sell Abbott Chancellor to Victor Newman. Although Jill will try to explain her actions, Billy will call her Jill instead of Mom just to hurt her and will ultimately hang up. At the Newman Ranch, Nikki Newman will thank Victor for everything as she prepares for her first day taking over Chancellor Industries. Nick Newman, Victoria Newman, and Claire Newman will also stop by with gifts to celebrate Nikki's new job. Nikki will get Claire to confirm she's still curious about the assistant position, so she'll ask Claire to accompany her on her first day and see what it's like at the office. Once Claire and Nikki arrive, Billy will still be there cleaning up his belongings. That'll lead to Billy clashing with Nikki about Victor's takeover and about how they duped Lily Winters, Crystal Collil. Billy will also advise Claire to steer clear of all the Newmans except Victoria. After Billy leaves, Claire will seek updates from Nikki on what really happened with Lily, so Nikki will explain all the deception and hope she hasn't scared Claire off from potentially working for her. Back with Billy on Tuesday's I and R episode, he'll stop by Phyllis Summers' hospital room and get the news that she's being released this afternoon. Billy will be apologetic since he didn't believe Phyllis' accusations regarding Sharon Newman. Phyllis will sense that something else is weighing on Billy, so he'll reveal that Jill sold Abbott Chancellor to Victor. Since Phyllis hates Victor as much as Billy, he'll propose teaming up on Victor's takedown once she gets out of there. At the Abbott mansion, Diane Jenkins Abbott will mention a discovery she's just made about Glissade, but Jack Abbott will already know thanks to a contact who filled him in. It turns out Victor sold off all the divisions before giving Diane a shell corporation, so basically all that's left will be the Glissade name. Although Diane will think Victor got the last laugh, Jack won't be so sure about that. It'll seem like maybe Jack has a trick up his sleeve. When Kyle Abbott appears, Jack will mention Victor finalizing the paperwork to give Glissade to Diane, and will fish for info about what Kyle learned from all this. Kyle will acknowledge that Victor is the devil and that his parents were awfully good actors when they sold him their deception. As Kyle thinks about his anger toward Diane, he'll determine that he never truly forgave her for abandoning him as a child. A tearful Diane will apologize for that and will assure Kyle that it wasn't his fault. Kyle will eventually admit that Diane was right to accuse him of undermining her. Although Kyle didn't realize it at the time, he'll now see that he was sabotaging Diane, and he won't believe she deserved it. Diane will acknowledge that it was a mistake to take the job Kyle wanted and hope they can find a way forward. Kyle will want that too, but he'll confess he's not certain where he belongs right now before he exits. At Crimson Lights, Sharon will tell Nick about her doctor adjusting her meds again, but she'll insist it's actually helped this time since she's not feeling as overwhelmed. Nick will be glad to hear that and will bring up Michael Baldwin's defense strategy, but Sharon will think this insanity defense may be a mistake. Sharon won't have high hopes about convincing a jury and will think Nick needs to prepare for the possibility that she'll land in prison indefinitely. Since Sharon will worry about how Faith Newman is going to handle that, she'll get Nick's word that they'll get Faith through this no matter what. Sharon will wonder why Nick's still being so supportive, even after knowing about everything she confessed to regarding Heather Stevens and Daniel Romalotti Jr. Nick will insist he's known Sharon for most of his life and will acknowledge how much he cares about her. As a result, Nick will declare that he's not going to abandon Sharon, not now, not ever. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Nick will keep his promise, so we'll bring you more predictions on his role in Sharon's storyline. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, November 26, show that Billy is still angry. He blames the world for his predicament, especially his mother, and he'd like her to know that at a very loud volume. It's always the mother's fault. Billy wanted to keep the company he renamed Abbott Chancellor. He wanted his mommy to help him. His mommy has been propping Billy up for decades. Jill finally had enough. When Victor asked Jill to sell it to him, instead, she went along with it, rather than keep fighting everyone, including Victor, Billy, and Lily. She's tired. Billy doesn't care. Someone needs to hear how unhappy he is. Sally tried, but she's not one of the people Billy blames, so her sympathy is meaningless. Billy needs those who hurt him to beg his forgiveness. Let's start with Jill. Ungrateful brat. And Billy isn't the only grumpy son in Genoa City. Kyle is also totes peeved. He stole from his parents, defected to their main competitor, and rubbed their faces in it. And they have the gall to be mad at him. Kyle is the victim here. Have they seen what they made him do? Do they not care that he's holding his breath, throwing a tantrum, and threatening not to love them anymore if they don't give him his way? Kyle is waiting for his parents' apology. We're terrified Jack might actually cave and give it to him. Charge card. Nikki is the new head of the Chancellor, just like Victor said. She has accepted the position, just like Victor said, and she is deliriously happy about it. Victor is so proud of what a strong, independent woman his baby is. Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, November 26, indicate some explosive moments in Genoa City. Next on Young and the Restless. One boss girl takes over the reins at a company, while an adult son has a temper tantrum, and a father looks to repair his relationship with his offspring. What kind of drama is set to unravel on Tuesday? Time to dive right in. Young and the Restless spoilers. Nikki Newman steps up at Chancellor. Y&R spoilers for Tuesday, November 26 reveal that Nikki Newman will have a lot to be thankful for as she officially takes the reins as CEO at Chancellor. What will her first move be, and does this mean that Claire Newman will join her grandmother at the company now? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Y&R spoilers. Billy Abbott loses his cool. Across town, Y&R spoilers for Tuesday, November 26, imply that Billy Abbott will lose his cool with his mom, Jill Abbott. Sounds like these two will continue to bicker over her selling Chancellor to Victor Newman. It may not have been the right thing for Jill to do where Billy is concerned. However, it was the best thing for her health and peace of mind. Will Billy see her point of view? Will he ever forgive her? Young and the Restless spoilers. Jack Abbott tries to make amends. Speaking of forgiveness, Y&R spoilers for Tuesday's show note Jack Abbott will aim to repair the relationship between him and Kyle Abbott. Both have crossed a ton of lines lately, with Jack pretending to separate from Diane Abbott to pull the wool over Victor's eyes and expose him, while Kyle turned to the mustache and worked for him in the first place, not to mention stealing a new product from the Jabot line and passing it off as glissades. Still, can these two move forward and make amends? Only time will tell. What storyline are you excited about seeing on Tuesday's show? Comment below. Catch Y&R Daily on CBS and visit SOS often for the best Young and the Restless news, spoilers, and updates. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that even the great Victor Newman can have a mishap from time to time. Eric Braeden recently decided to reply after Victor's on-screen appearance sparked some concern on social media. In the November 26 episode, Braeden can be seen with an injury on his right temple. After the Y&R Recaps account mentioned this on X, formerly known as Twitter, they jokingly asked Braeden if Billy Abbott whacked him. Of course, they also sought confirmation that Braeden was OK, so he chimed in with a lighthearted response. Most fans know by now that Braeden likes to stay active, so it seems that led to taking things a bit too far in the boxing gym. No, I had done some headbutt exercises on the heavy bag. Braeden replied before adding 3 rolling on the floor laughing emojis. Thankfully, Braeden was having a good laugh about the whole thing, so his head injury clearly wasn't anything serious. Even so, it was nice of Braeden to address it for any fans who might have been worried about him. As for what's next in Geno City, Victor could have quite a storm brewing. Although Victor thinks he's emerged victorious over Jack Abbott and Billy Abbott, these brothers could have some surprises in store. Jack isn't ready to accept that Victor's the winner of their latest round of conflict, so Victor may have to watch his back. Likewise, Billy and Phyllis Summers could be gearing up for a vengeful takedown plot that'll lead to even more drama for Victor. That said, no one ever truly gains the upper hand on Victor for long. Even if Victor has to deal with some setbacks along the way, we have no doubt that he'll fight back and come out on top in the end. Our predictions hint that Victor will prove his enemies are no match for him, so stick with us for updates on all the shocking news and heated face-offs ahead. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the Newman-Abbott hostility will continue, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless spoilers show that things are looking dark for the future of Sharon Newman, and there may not be a good path for redemption ahead. Sharon has been a fan favorite for decades, and her storylines over the years with Nikki Newman and Nick Newman have sold her to the viewers. However, with turning herself in for murder and hearing the voice of the deceased Cameron Kirsten in her head, it may be what's best for her right now. She clearly needs some kind of help. However, even if she gets help and starts feeling better, there's not really any chance of her coming back after a murder. The Young and the Restless spoilers, was Sharon set up? Sharon turned herself in for the murder, however, is there any chance at all that she was actually set up? Sure, we've seen things through the eyes of Sharon, but was she a reliable narrator? She was experiencing so much, hearing voices, struggling with mental health, and not sleeping. Is it possible that someone took advantage of this for their own personal gain? As we've seen, Jordan has escaped jail and is with Ian Ward. It seems obvious that they have something to do with it as they cackle maniacally in their motel room. This may be the only path back for Sharon at the moment, and with so many viewers attached to the character, it almost feels necessary. Y&R spoilers, back from the brink. Should Sharon find herself being taken advantage of, it wouldn't really change the fact that she killed someone, but at least Daniel Romalotti would be able to maybe understand a little bit. As of right now, it may have been a good thing that Nick was in the same room with him and Sharon, or he may have jumped at her. For the writers to take such a beloved character like Sharon, immediately throw her under the bus with little to no explanation, and have her murder someone is absolutely wacky. It hasn't even made for a good storyline, as most of us are left wondering what in the heck are they doing. What do you think? Is there any chance that Sharon will be able to come out on top of this, or is she done for a while to come? It's been 5 years since viewers have seen Kane on The Young and the Restless, and though Lily has mentioned that he's visited with the twins, there has been no word on him returning to Genoa City. Daniel Goddard has stayed in touch with his fans via social media, and in a recent post, the former CBS soap star teased something truly incredible ahead. "I just wanted to reach out and say hello and see how you're doing," the actor stated in an Instagram video, then went on to tease that something truly incredible is in the midst. Something so amazing that he cannot wait to share more. Goddard also sent fans a special message that was attached to the video to let them know that he's missed you very much. "You'll never know how much each and every one of you means to me." He talked about the human connection and how nothing is more powerful. "Family, community, and connectivity is the glue that holds us together," he added. "Because I said the core of each and every one of us is the desire to be understood and loved by people that matter." Now, we're aware that his pending news could be about anything. However, fans quickly wondered, could it be that he's heading back to his daytime stomping grounds? Now that Lily is single again, maybe a visit from her ex is just what she needs. Kane and Lily had the fair share of problems, which led them to divorce, but they also were very much in love at one point. So what's your take on Goddard's news? Would you like to see him bring Kane back to town? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Victor Newman's alliance proposal. A temptation for Billy Abbott. Victor Newman sat behind his massive oak desk, the weight of 3 powerful companies resting firmly in his grasp: Chancellor Winters, Abbott Glide, and Newman Enterprises. Each was a titan in its own right, and Victor, the consummate strategist, held the reins of all 3. Yet, despite his unparalleled power, his focus was razor-sharp on one adversary, Jack Abbott. Jack was the last formidable opponent standing between Victor and total dominance. The history between the two men was storied, fraught with betrayal, competition, and deep-seated animosity. But Victor wasn't looking for a direct confrontation. He wanted to dismantle Jack from within. For that, he needed a partner, someone who knew Jack intimately and had the motivation to take him down. That someone was Billy Abbott. Billy Abbott, a man at a crossroads. Billy Abbott was a man adrift. Jill Abbott, his own mother, had humiliated him by stripping him of his position at Chancellor Winters and selling off parts of the company without his input. His trust in her was shattered, and his relationship with his family was strained. The idea of working with Victor Newman, his family's sworn rival, should have been unthinkable. And yet, there was an allure to Victor's offer. Victor promised Billy something he hadn't felt in a long time: power. By aligning with Victor, Billy could regain his position as CEO of Chancellor Winters and have the resources to not only rebuild his reputation, but also outmaneuver Jack. It was a tantalizing offer, but it came with a heavy price. Victor's plan was clear: dismantle Jack Abbott's empire. For Billy, this meant not just betraying his brother, but also potentially alienating what little family support he had left. Was it worth sacrificing his relationships, his integrity, and possibly his soul just to settle old scores? Sally Spectra's Persuasion. Sally Spectra, always perceptive and ambitious, saw the potential in Victor's proposal. She had aligned herself with Billy during his recent struggles, offering him both strategic advice and emotional support. Now, she was urging him to accept Victor's partnership. "Look, Billy," Sally said one evening as they sat together in the glow of a fireplace. "This isn't just about taking Jack down. This is about proving yourself, showing everyone, including Jill, that you're not some reckless screw-up. Victor is offering you a chance to rewrite your story." Billy frowned, swirling his glass of bourbon. "And what happens when Jack finds out? What happens when my family turns on me for good?" Sally leaned forward, her tone soft but insistent. "Your family hasn't exactly been there for you, have they? Jill discarded you. Jack treats you like a loose cannon. This isn't betrayal, Billy, it's survival. and maybe it's the only way to finally get out from under Jack's shadow. Her words struck a chord. Billy hated to admit it, but there was truth in what Sally said. For too long, he had been seen as the black sheep of the Abbott family. This could be his chance to change that narrative. Victor's game plan. Victor, ever the master manipulator, understood that Billy was hesitant. So he played to Billy's vulnerabilities. "Billy, let me tell you something," Victor said during one of their private meetings. "Jack has always looked down on you. He doesn't see your potential, but I do. Together, we can build something far greater than what he's clinging to at J-Bot. You've got ambition, Billy. Don't let Jack's shadow stifle it." Billy listened, torn between his growing frustration with Jack and his lingering doubts about Victor's motives. He knew Victor was a dangerous ally, one who demanded loyalty above all else. Aligning with him would mean stepping into a world of cutthroat business tactics and unrelenting pressure. Was he ready for that? The dilemma. Victor's offer wasn't just about power, it was a test of Billy's values. On one hand, he could reclaim his position at Chancellor Winters, prove his worth, and finally step out of Jack's shadow. On the other, he risked alienating his family and becoming a pawn in Victor's larger game. The decision weighed heavily on him. Memories of his tumultuous relationship with Jack played in his mind. They had fought, reconciled, and fought again. But at the end of the day, they were brothers. Could he really betray Jack so completely? And what would becoming an ally of Victor Newman say about the kind of man Billy wanted to be? Jack's reaction. Jack Abbott, though unaware of Victor's proposal to Billy, sensed a growing tension. He noticed Billy's distance and the influence Sally was having on him. Jack, ever protective of his family's legacy, grew concerned that Billy might be making decisions that could harm not only Abbott, but the entire Abbott family. Jack's suspicion deepened when whispers of Billy's meetings with Victor reached him. Determined to confront his brother, Jack sought Billy out. "Whatever you're planning," Jack said during their confrontation, "you better think long and hard about what it means for this family. I've always tried to support you, Billy, but if you go down this road with Victor, you might not like where it leads." The decision. Billy stood at a crossroads. On one side was Victor Newman, offering him power, influence, and a chance to redefine himself. On the other was his family, his integrity, and the complicated relationships that had shaped him. In the end, Billy knew that whatever decision he made would change everything. If he aligned with Victor, he would have to face the fallout, potentially losing Jack's trust forever. If he walked away, he risked remaining in the shadows, forever second to his brother. As he stared out over the Genoa City skyline, Billy took a deep breath. Whatever his choice, it would be his alone to make. What's next? The alliance between Billy and Victor could set the stage for one of the most explosive battles Genoa City has ever seen. With Jack and Diane on one side and Victor and Billy on the other, the stakes couldn't be higher. Will Billy sacrifice his relationships for power, or will he find another way to forge his own path? The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal it's been 5 long years since fans have seen Kane Ashby on the soap. While he and Lily Winters were one of the hottest super couples in the land of Genoa City, he exited storylines in 2019 after his wife was sent to jail and their romance fizzled. Lily returned to GC in 2020, and that's when Jill Abbott appointed her to run Chancellor, along with Billy Abbott. While Kane's name has been mentioned here and there, he's yet to re-enter the canvas in person. Could Kane Ashby make a comeback soon? There's a huge fan base that would love nothing more than to see him back in the little town, whether or not a Kane/Lily reunion was in the cards. Actor Daniel Goddard hopped on Instagram and offered some hope in this regard recently. He uploaded a video with a cryptic announcement, hinting there was something big on the horizon for him and fans. In the IG video, Goddard states that he just wanted to reach out to fans to see how everyone is doing. He goes on to state, something truly incredible is in the midst, and he cannot wait to share more. In the IG video caption, Goddard also states how he's missed fans very much. Interestingly enough, on Monday, November 25, he also shared a throwback photo of him and some of his old Y&R castmates on his IG story. The picture showed Goddard along with Eric Braeden, Melody Thomas Scott, Michael Baldwin, Olivia Winters, Joshua Morrow, and Sharon Case at an event years ago. Could the actor be teasing a major comeback to Y&R? He's definitely got some major news he's remaining tight-lipped about. Kane could easily ease back into storylines thanks to his roots in the little town. The show's executive producer, Josh Griffith, recently noted that Lily is set to find her true love as the year comes to a close. And while viewers may believe this is Nate Hastings' half-brother, Damien, maybe Griffith is hinting at Lily rekindling her old true love romance with Kane. The two had quite the love story back in the day. However, Kane's consistent lies were what kept the super couple from living out their happily ever after. Could he have changed? Could Kane go above and beyond to prove he's finally the man she always wanted him to be? While Lily moved on to other loves, perhaps Kane hasn't been able to stop thinking about her over the past 5 years he's been away. Then again, maybe Kane will provide an obstacle in her new relationship with Damien, or whomever the Y&R will assign to be Lily's latest romantic interest. The Young and the Restless spoilers promise some explosive moments in the final weeks of 2024, so could Kane Ashby returning to the soap be one of them? Offers the best Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and predictions, so stay tuned to the site for more Y&R updates. The Young and the Restless tease that Victor Newman wants to have a talk with his granddaughter Claire Newman. He doesn't think she should waste her time with Kyle Abbott. Kyle is mad at his parents Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott due to their meddling in his life to keep Victor away from him. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Victor Newman talks to Claire. Victor used Kyle to get back at Jack, but Kyle ignored everyone's warnings. Will Claire call Victor out about using Kyle, the man she's falling for? Claire is new to the family, so she won't make waves or demands, but she will state her objections about how Victor treated Kyle. Y&R spoilers. Will Victor mollify Claire? For his part, Victor wants to know more about Claire's interest in Kyle and what's happening between them. This is not any of his business, especially after how he treated Kyle. But wily Victor may pull out of Claire that she's falling for Kyle and wants to explore that. That isn't what Victor wants to hear. He went through the same thing with his daughter Victoria Newman and Cole Howard, Claire's parents, decades ago. Y&R spoilers. Victor Newman likes to micromanage. Explosive show spoilers reveal that Victor thinks it's in everyone's best interests to squash the budding romance between Claire and Kyle. Because he's Victor Newman, that's why. During the week of November 25 to 29, Victor issues a warning about what will happen if Claire doesn't forget all about Kyle. Will he suggest that Summer Newman and Kyle always seem to find their way back to each other? Or will he tell Claire to open her eyes and see how Kyle, Summer, and Harrison Abbott are mending their family unit? Victor will say he's just trying to protect Claire, but she is old enough to make her own decisions. Tell us Y&R fans, how do you think that Claire will react to Victor's not-so-well-disguised orders? Will she act like Victoria before her and forge ahead with Kyle, and maybe even have his baby? The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, November 26, reveal that Jill Abbott gets an earful from her son Billy Abbott about selling Abbott Chancellor to Victor Newman. He did not see this ruthless move coming, and it's turned his world upside down. Billy doesn't act right when his world is upside down. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Billy upset with Jill. This deal adds insult to injury, since his mom didn't have faith in him to run the company and she sold it to the man who hates him. Billy doesn't hold back as he tells Jill exactly how he feels. There is a reason why Victor calls him Billy Boy, and we see this as the man-child throws a temper tantrum. The holidays are not the right time to put your family on blast, but Billy thinks that he and his mom are on thin ice. In answer to Billy, Jill explains why she did what she did and asks him to try and understand her reasoning. She doesn't want their relationship to suffer because of her business move. I&R spoilers. Jill needs understanding. Meanwhile, Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott hope their son Kyle Abbott comes around after their major deception. As a peace offering, Diane wants to give Kyle her co-CEO spot at Abbott, but Jack isn't sure that he's ready for that. Instead of learning a lesson, Kyle seems more bent out of shape than ever. Still, the holidays have a magical way of smoothing things over, and this could happen for both Kyle and Billy. The young and the restless spoilers. Nikki thrives in the glow. Jack would like Kyle to apologize for trying to undermine his family company after Diane fired him. If and only if Kyle shows remorse, he can have the big boy chair. Tell us why, and our fans, do you think that Kyle will simmer down anytime soon? Maybe Claire Newman can get him to see reason. They are getting closer, but not if Victor has anything to say about it. Elsewhere, Nikki Newman has a glow-up at Chancellor. It's her big debut, and as the boss, she intends to honor her friend, Catherine Chancellor's legacy. Victor lavishes praise on Nikki, but with everything going so right, something has to go wrong, right? It's a soap after all. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Y&R right now.